Gotta scooch, yeah. I think I gotta get some room here, too. All right, so we're playing Van Halen and Jump right now, David Lee Roth. Good God, I'm so tired of asking whether or not I want to tag Jeff Lane in this, because it's so dirty. Hey. So we're playing David Lee Roth. We're playing Van Halen, Jump. And so he and I were just talking about who was the better lead, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar, and you say?
I say David Lee Roth, and it's not even close.
Not even close. Not even close? I mean, it's not a little close.
Not even a little
One
close.
guy's making tequila. And the other guy is what? Like hanging out with Henry Lee Summer? I mean, what's David Lee Roth doing now? He did a bluegrass album not too long ago. But anyway, I can't play the whole song because then we'll get thrown off. But David Lee Roth, I think, is the better Van Halen lead singer anyway. But
no doubt.
I would agree with that. Sammy probably would be more fun to hang out with, though.
You think?
Yeah. Because David's like, you remember when? And you remember when? And Sammy's like looking forward. A better hang, I think. All right. Well, let's talk some news.
Now, back to the Wake Up Call with Phil Quinn. Brought to you by Phillips Drugs on Richmond's Classic Hits.
6:44 on your Wake Up Call. We've got ourselves 72 degrees. It is a muggy start to your Wednesday. And Jeff Lane is here in the newsroom. Jeff, we've spent the first couple of segments on the show today. And by the way, thanks to all the folks watching on Facebook Live. We spent the first couple of breaks just talking about where you were on this day 18 years ago. I know that at that time you were working here at the radio station, and that's kind of our question today. And I think not just reminiscing about what actually happened on 9/11, the tragic events at Pentagon and the Flight 93 in Pennsylvania, and of course New York City and the World Trade Center, but also about where we were. It's kind of etched in our memories exactly what we were doing at that time that we were watching. And so just real quickly, we may talk about that here on the outset. Were you in the newsroom over there next to you?
I was right across the hall, right over there.
Yeah.
And it was 101.7 The Point didn't exist at that time. It was Real Radio 930 WHON. Troy Darengowski was the host of that show. And in that show, we did obituaries every morning. I would read the obituaries, and I was just about to do that, and I was watching Fox 19, our news partner, and Rob Williams and Sheila Gray were hosting at that time, and Rob had said just before I was about to do obituaries that a plane had hit the World Trade Center, but there was no video at that point, and that's all it was, a plane. And my assumption at that point was it was just like a small 4-seat passenger, that passenger type plane. It never even crossed my mind that it was a huge jetliner, and didn't realize until after I had done the obituaries, really the scope of what had happened.
Yeah. I was in the sales office meeting with our former general manager, Dave Stricker. Our current general manager, Amy Dillon, was in the sales office or sales hallway. And we had heard about the first plane. I was working in sales, as I mentioned, not on the air. And one of our salespeople came in, Dale, and she said, "Hey, a second plane hit." I said, "No, you it's just one plane." She goes, "No, second plane." We went, "Dale, look, it's just one plane." She goes, "Will you shut up and listen to me? A second plane. I know about the first plane. A second plane is hit." And we just went, whoa, and just ran into the studio that had the TV in it and started watching it. And at that point, you just heart sank. Your stomach just felt ill. And I remember going out, like, this is going to sound really stupid, but we went out to catch reaction live from people, and the one place that we thought we could do that was in the drive-thru at McDonald's. So Steve Baker and I, from our sister station, we were standing up. I was in a shirt and tie because I was in sales, but I knew that this was more important than trying to talk to a client about, hey, you want to put some radio ads on? And we just kept talking to people in the drive-thru. What'd you think about today? And I kept looking up at the sky, and it didn't see anything. It was just, usually you would see some air traffic or something, not a cloud. There was nothing. And then you see fighter jets and Air Force One fly over, like they were had gone past or around Wright Pat, and then you just went, wow. So
yeah.
But we've been talking more about where you were as opposed to, like running through all the statistics and that sort of thing. there's other times to do that. But anyway, let's talk about news, because something else I just mentioned was we haven't heard anything about any commemoration or moment of silences, we haven't heard anything here, anything officially being done. So.
Right, and I'm sure it's going on at some place across the Whitewater Valley, or some places it's just, as far as we know, there's nothing being done on, on a large city level in any of our surrounding communities or here locally.
Right. Okay.
All right. Turning to local news now, a couple of charges filed in some pretty high-profile crimes that have happened in the last month or so. That includes an armed robbery of the village pantry. A guy named LaQuint Hogg has now been charged in that one. According to the affidavit, the clerk in the store was actually one of his classmates and recognized him, and that's what led to his charge being filed this week. And then yesterday, a criminal charge filed in connection with a crash that killed Charles Miller of Fountain City. That happened a little more than a month ago. Investigators say the 29-year-old Audriana Hardwick not only caused that crash by crossing the center line, but was also driving drunk. She was charged with that yesterday. She faces up to 12 years in prison. Let's see, a couple things going on in the ongoing / never-ending file. That's the controversy over the proposed CAFO in Northern Fayette County. That was held up again this week. In fact,
come on.
One of the guys, now this is, picture this, they had moved this to Connersville High School and were anticipating a big crowd. And shortly before this meeting started, they learned that it was going to be delayed again. And so, because of some legal wranglings, and one of the guys, just one of the members of the board, just got up and said, "I'm going out and watching the soccer game." Just got up and left.
There you go. Right.
And what we're talking about is proposed CAFO that's being opposed by a neighbor. He's put up a picnic table in a shelter, trying to call it a public recreation area. They now say that that's going to end up in court, so I don't expect a resolution in this one. Right. Probably within, who knows, probably a year.
Yeah. We got a better chance of finding out where the sewer water is going to go in the Gateway Industrial Park.
That's right. That's right. A couple things real quick. The EPA is going to be on the scene of a crash on State Route 503 at the Preble County line. Happened last night. Lots of granular fertilizer spilled, so they will be in that area today. Also, lots of utility poles taken out. The driver sustaining only minor injuries. And a gas leak forced part of the city of Greenville, I should say, to be evacuated yesterday. Contractor hit a high pressure gas line. They quickly evacuated and shut down some city streets. No injuries reported. And we will end with this one. IU East launching a new program. It's geared toward helping Wayne County's nonprofits. It's called Empower Wayne County. They say it's a learning opportunity for students, but it's also a chance for those nonprofits to utilize student expertise and energy.
It sounds very similar to the Bonner Scholars program with Earlham, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so basically you get some free help, but it's not an internship, because the student that would come and help that nonprofit may or may not be interested in pursuing a career in that field.
Right.
I've got two gripes. Of course, you know, especially our friends watching on Facebook, you'll know that I feel irritated. I've got two things, one's small and one's probably a little bit more detailed. So here we go.
Okay.
Drove through Glen Miller Park, and at one point, through the generous support of Vic Josie, they had an irrigation system, a sprinkler, basically in the middle of Glen Miller Pond. And I know a lot of city officials and city council people and mayor people and people that work for the city all listen to this segment, so I wanted to bring it up here. That pond looks terrible. The algae and moss and that sort of stuff have grown up. And if it was the Everglades, I'd be okay with it, but not. And I was there with Mayor Hutton when the fountains started. Tim Ham, a guy that worked really hard in putting those kind of irrigation systems in, put it in, had it working. I don't know what happened, so I guess I'm asking first, maybe there's a problem and the sprinkler doesn't work, but it looks terrible. And it's sad, but it hurts my feelings because I know how important that was to have the pond looking good for people and for folks like Vic Josie. So that's a small one. Here's the big one. Got a message from my son at 5 o'clock this morning. Again, a month ago we had the same issue. His wallet was stolen out of his car. So he sends me a text message this morning, a month later, can't find his wallet. And I said, well, where did you last leave it? He went and got gas at the Speedway on the west side. Didn't do anything else, but a person from Domino's messaged him on Facebook and said, we've got your ID. Now, I don't know if that includes the wallet or not, but we could be going through the process of having to replace his wallet and his ID and his debit card and the credit card that I give him in case he goes dead and I'm not close to him. I'm trying to be patient here, but once is a mistake, a screw up. A month later. So, I'm asking for parental advice. Other than chokehold, what do I do? And he's gonna be mortified about this, and I know he's probably listening.
Yeah.
But I'm hot. I don't want it. I love him, but this is too much.
Yeah.
It was $17 to replace his ID at the BMV. They say the Domino's isn't open until 10:30. And he goes, I'll go after school. I went, oh, hell no. We're not waiting that long. we're going to find out before then. So I don't know. I want to make sure I'm doing good parenting here. What do you suggest?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You got to give me a little bit of a heads up so I can think these things through.
I think gut reaction from you is always better than giving you a chance to think about it. I'm trying to be an older, smarter, wiser, more mature individual, which probably doesn't help that I'm talking about it on the radio. Chokehold is what I prefer to do, but I don't think that's a very diplomatic way to do it.
I know. It's not,
If he lost his wallet for the second time in a month, his birthday is next week, and I'm thinking of getting him one of those chain wallets and forcing him to have to wear the chain wallet everywhere he goes. And say, I'm sorry, but you're clearly not capable of putting your... And I get it, not everybody likes wearing their wallet.
Yeah.
Still, come on.
I don't know, man. You're talking to somebody who's twice driven off with a cell phone on the hood of his car. So I probably am not the person to ask.
All right. Well, we got to go. We're running really long.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff Lane.
See ya.
Be a struggle. As we age, problems.
I love him. You know I love him. I love him. I don't know what to do. All right. So, coming up today, Wet Nose Wednesday, Barnheiser and Associates. Jess from Singing Chance is going to be here. We'll post some video here shortly. Also, Tanya Marcy is going to be joining us. She is a thyroid cancer survivor, and she is taking part in the Colors with Cancer. Got some great donations yesterday. Got about $100 donated, maybe, something like that. And so she is going to be talking about her thyroid cancer and how she survived that and why that's important to her. And the Colors for Cancer, again, it's just an opportunity to highlight all the other cancers before we get into the breast cancer, wear pink, read Bravo type stuff. So it's just 1 month. She's trying to raise $1,000. I'm trying to raise $1,000. So we would certainly love to be able to have you participate on my Facebook page. There's a picture, Colors of Cancer, wearing light blue. I'm supportive of prostate cancer and guys getting checked because we need to do that. So if you don't mind making a contribution, if we had 100 of us donating $5, we're on our way. Would love to be able to get your support on that. Until then, by the way, that money stays with the Hoosiers in Wayne County, or not Wayne County, but across the state. All right, that's what we've got. See ya. Don't forget, never forget why we're doing this show and why we have the ability to do this show and talk freely. And I don't know, that day is obviously one we'll never forget. Peace.